Welcome to the official zombie storyline. Before I begin, I'd urge you to please like and share this video wherever you can. It would mean the world to me. Chapter 1. The Night Before the Night. The following is merely a story created to scare children. The year is 1939, and in the midst of World War II, some rather unsavory experiments are being performed in an abandoned industrial facility near Breslau in Germany. This derelict factory would house experiments coordinated by a Dr. Ludwig Maxis. Dr. Maxis was the chief representative of the research division of an organization entitled Group 935, whose motto was to improve the human condition. There were various researchers under Dr. Maxis's command. However, only one would truly find his way into our story. A doctor by the name of Edward Richthofen was based in the Breslau facility, and in the winter of 1939, he was conducting experiments in the field of matter transference. In his eyes, he was at the forefront of an entirely new genus of human capability. However, in the eyes of Dr. Maxis, he was wasting time that would be better spent defending the Germanic forces. Little did Maxis know, the World War would be the last of his problems. It was during a heated exchange later that day that we realized Group 935's true identity. The group began as a genuine scientific research center. Its purpose was to stand on the shoulders of giants and enhance and improve humanity. However, a secret deal was formed between Group 935 and the Nazi Party. The Nazi Party was funding said research, and therefore Maxis was in no position to argue with their representatives. So a deal was struck between the two parties. Group 935 would create a weapon of considerable force that would put an end to the war. And in exchange for this weapon, the Nazi Party would grant vast fundings to the ranks of 935. With this knowledge around his shoulders, Maxis knew that he needed focus within the research team. However, Edward would spend much of his time alone with a Dr. Schuster. Dr. Schuster was of course anxious of his relationship with Dr. Richthofen. However, Edward would console him with the consideration that great scientists must stick together to achieve great science. A year later, Dr. Richthofen would become the first human experiment to enter the matter transference prototype. Edward entered the machine, and Dr. Schuster hesitantly initiated the device. An electrical charge fused the device, and a tremendous roar crashed around the laboratory. And then, silence. Edward opened his eyes. He had been altered to an almost alien landscape. His diary relates that he found himself within a circular chamber with a pyramid structure in the center. Above him were the diodes and electrical wiring of a larger device. The room granted him weightlessness. He knew that he had stumbled upon an otherworldly secret, and he would not sleep until he could conclude his findings. Seconds later, he was teleported once more, and this time he would find himself in the leafy canopy of a humid jungle. Immediately, a group of tribesmen grabbed him and carried him away. It is not known what happened during this time. All that we do know is Richthofen was recognized and was adored by the people that found him. Perhaps they would preside over him as a fallen prophet, naming him their leader and answering to his every beckon and call. He always was an egomaniac. Of course, after Dr. Richthofen had disappeared, Dr. Schuster grew ever more anxious, remembering that Dr. Maxis could at any time question Dr. Richthofen's absence and interrogate Dr. Schuster about the matter transference device. It had been 19 days since Richthofen's experiment with the prototype. Schuster's future looked grim. Suddenly, the doors of the laboratory flew open, and Dr. Richthofen walked straight up to Schuster and revered his work. It was at this moment that the team would cloak their findings from Dr. Maxis using Operation Shield. Dr. Richthofen returned a new man. He had witnessed events that changed him forever. 1,000 likes for Chapter 2.